happy Shamanic Sundays.
Buenos dias. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry we're a few minutes late there. We had a little trouble getting one of us online this morning, but we are here, and I see many of you are already here. So thank you so much for being here with us today. And welcome again, Shamanic Sundays. We are here to create space to listen and learn and grow together, and to give you time to share your wisdom, Dad, that you've learned over 55 plus years of working with shamanism and the power of natural wisdom and indigenous wisdom. And thank you for being here and for being such a pioneer in this space. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. So in the spirit of sacred reciprocity, would you start us off with a prayer?
Yes, I will. And I notice immediately my eyes close when I do that. You'll notice whether your eyes close or not, whatever's right for you. But for me to somehow with closing my eyes, not always, but right now, I just feel more intimate connected consciously with Spirit's presence, which is always here. So thank you, Great Spirit, great mystery, creator, source of this universe and the breath of our lives. And we remember with that breath of our lives, our ancestors, family and friends in the spirit world. And we remember and honor the ancestor spirits of the land we live on, and give thanks for the opportunity of this day of being alive through the breath of Kupuri Chi Mana life force that you flow into us. Opportunity here through technology to join hearts, minds, and spirits in a way that to open the portal, the Nearika, to conscious attunement, connection, and communion with you, to polish up our stardust and help us to be channels for healing light and love through us and in our families, our communities, our work, and out into the world for the healing of the sacred hoop. May it be so. Oh, hi.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It's interesting because, well, not interesting, I guess, just how it's always perfect, even when we don't think it is.
That's true.
I got a question about showing up in the world, and here, let me find in my notes what it was exactly. How do you show up when you just don't feel like you have any energy or passion left? That's what the question was. And then I got 2 texts from people saying, are you guys doing Shamanic Sundays? I don't see you. Because we were a little bit late starting here. So that's kind of funny. And it seems just perfect about, how do you show up even when the technical or other situations in the world seem to be stopping you from, or putting up hurdles.
Yeah.
So that is the subject of the day. Very pertinent.
So how do we show up? How might we show up
when we just feel like throwing in the towel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So again, my awareness immediately goes to the phrase you use, feel like throwing in the towel. So those are all explanations, verbal explanations of an energy state, and feelings, which are energy. So I feel like throwing in the towel. I feel overwhelmed by what I'm experiencing is resistance to trying to bring through, or what I'd like to bring through, or obstacles, or just kind of knocking me down, and I keep trying to get up and get knocked down again. And after a while, I'm exhausted and I'm overwhelmed, and I just don't feel like I have any energy or any passion or desire to go forward. I'm just wiped out. So that's what we're feeling. That's not happening by accident. And as with any other wave of information, let's go to the wave and see what information it does contain. So to give myself permission to feel exhaustion and lack of passion to continue on without any judgment, number one, just to with awareness. Don't identify with that exhaustion. Don't identify with the feeling no passion to go forward. Those are momentary states. They're not going to last forever. And it's not who you are, but it's what your awareness is experiencing in the moment. And so we don't have any power to change or shapeshift or transform what we don't face the truth of. We don't have to like it. And most likely, if it's calling our attention through some kind of suffering like exhaustion and overwhelm and feeling passionless, those are all strong indicators of something's going on that requires our attention. It requires us to bring conscious awareness to. And it's hard to see the information, to get the information of a situation when we go to it and create a relationship of judgment. This is a bad feeling. I'm a bad person, or I failed in some way, to be feeling exhausted. It must be my fault. I must have done something wrong. There must be something wrong with me that I don't feel any passion. So as soon as those judgments come in, everything cringes up and constricts, and the pipes get constipated, and the wisdom and the medicine trying to come through the situation that the symptoms of exhaustion and passionless are calling our attention to, and successfully getting our attention. So hallelujah for that. That's the way the wisdom in our beings calls our attention to it. Sometimes to say, hey, something's going on here, and you need to bring conscious awareness to the role you're playing in creating this experience. Because if you do that, then you're empowered to kind of shift things around, move things around, if that's what you choose. Okay, so giving ourselves permission in our humanness to experience the truth of our exhaustion and feeling overwhelmed and passionless, and just noticing how we experience that in our bodies, the sensations, what's happening in the energy field, the energy chakras, tendons, organs, glands, in our body, being physical, energetic, just noticing what's happening in those places, and however it is that you experience exhaustion and overwhelm and feeling passionless, what's most needed. Opening up by tuning into those energy states, what's most needed by those energy states for healing, for transformation. What's most needed? Well, if I'm feeling overwhelmed and without any passion, it's like my batteries are low or run out or exhausted and just not functioning. And so I need to bring in a little bit of extra energy there to restart those batteries, to bring in some revitalization energy. Well, how can I do that? I was at a retreat a couple of weeks ago, and wee hours in the morning before it was time to close the ceremony, but there was one more part of the ceremony, which takes quite a bit of time, and I was feeling exhausted, totally exhausted by then. And yet I felt honored to try to complete the ceremony for the people, so then we could release and get some rest. And so I called out in the middle of the circle, there's a candle, there's Tatewari, Grandfather Fire Spirit. And so I went to Grandfather Fire Spirit, and you can translate that into the Great Spirit or the Great Mystery or whatever works for you. The presence of the underlying oneness of the wisdom, power, energy of the universe is always here and always cooking, always available to us. If I'm weak, I'm exhausted, I don't have it, then I accept that with gratitude for letting me know. Don't push. Don't try to make something happen on your ego or your power or your physical power or mental power. Open up to surrender into and open up to the power coming from Tatewari, power coming from Great Spirit. And thank you for your medicine. Thank you for your strength. I open myself to your strength to help me honor what I'm here to do as best I can. Thank you for the strength pouring into me now to keep going and keep going to. I remember when I ran track a long time ago when I was young, I was a fast runner, and the coaches would say, don't let down at the finish line. When you see that finish line coming up on the sprint, run 10 yards through it, push that finish line 10 yards further down the line there, and keep your strength and power up to that line, and then let it go. And so that would help us cross the finish line with that final burst that sometimes would win the race, separate the winner from the loser. So, opening, humbling. We're being humbled if we're exhausted and overwhelmed and feel no passion. That's a humbling to the ego who wants to be, strong in position, looking good, smoking, cooking. And then when it's not in those states, which, like all natural cycles, there's the time for the high, there's the time for the low, there's the time for the in-between, and there's the transition dance with all rhythms and cycles, some fast, some slow, moving and grooving on that circular path. So opening, how does the opening to that power energy from Great Spirit, from Tatewari, from great grandmother growth, from your helpers, your power animals, spirit plant allies, whatever your helpers are. How do we open most effectively to receive those energies coming to us from them? Through gratitude. Starts with gratitude. Thank you for you, Tatewari. Thank you for tall, straight people offering your bodies there as fuel to bring through the opening, to bring through the stardust from Father Sun, to warm us, to help us wake up and remember the truth of who we are, luminosity, to remember the power of light, to cut through darkness. Thank you for shining today. Father Sun, bringing the life force to Mother Earth and your teaching reminder of our true nature of illumination. And so as we're giving all that thanks, as you're giving your thanks from your heart to whatever you're thankful for and whatever it is, your sense or understanding of what the source is of what you're thankful for. You're giving that thanks, you open your heart. The only way you can give that thanks is you open your heart to give that thanks back. And that instant you open heart to give thanks, and it, boom, all of a sudden it pours in and we're filled up with it. It was always there, but we weren't in touch with it. Now it's just pouring in and we're in touch with it. And each breath we're taking in is strengthening that connection, or to rebirth that energy in us to do what we need to do. And it may be that if we're exhausted and overwhelmed, we need to rest. We need to stop doing and just be. Spend a period of time with being. I was working with a young man yesterday whose body was telling him it's time to stop for months now. And it's very troublesome and can't go to school and it's threatening and it's difficult, but he's trying to hang in there and do the best he can and work with the challenges. So it's a humbling and a letting go into powers that are bigger than us. And then listening for guidance. How can I best take care of myself in this situation of feeling passionless? Give myself permission to not feel passion and just be with the truth of whatever I'm feeling. But once again, remember, breathing in, breathing out. What I'm feeling, what I'm sensing, what I'm thinking is not the essence of who and what I am. The essence, true essence of who and what I am is way more than my physical body, is way more than my ego identity with all of its stories coming from wounds and the conditioning of my culture and family and time of and geography, a place of living and being. I'm way more than that. On the deepest level of my being, I'm part and parcel, one with the infinite cosmic oneness, unity of the universe. I'm in it. It's in me. It existed before that essence of me came into this physical container, and it exists after this physical container dissolves, after it's finished its cycle, back into the oneness from which it never really left, except for the identity with ego, creating a film of mental separation, thinking we're separate, and which is the root cause of the suffering to begin with. So letting go, releasing with gratitude to the ability of having a human experience, our spirits in these bodies, to have feelings of that overwhelm, of that feeling passionless and exhausted, and no energy to continue on. So just going into that, opening to it, getting the information of it, and always in the situation is the information of how to create a response to it. That if we choose it, how can we create a response to the truth of what I'm experiencing internally, quote unquote, externally in the field, in our family and relationships, in the community, in the world, because we're all connected. What's the truth of what am I experiencing with all of that? And whatever it is, how can I create a response to it, a relationship with it, where I use it to help me grow those qualities of consciousness and being that I want to have grow stronger in my life. And of course, when we ask ourselves that question, it immediately takes us out of ego's victim state, if that's what's going on to any degree, and brings us right into the truth of, being alive with this next breath that comes in totally clean, pure, strong, vibrant, and asks us the question, how do you want to use me? We're empowered to make a conscious choice. I want to use it to create more suffering, a choice and a consequence, or do I want to use it to let go and release whatever needs to let go and co-create with spirit a conscious second attention dream? And then what do you want to dream for yourself as your experience right now? What do you want to experience right now? And asking that question will bring into your awareness what you want to experience. And there you are. You're stepping consciously in the co-creative process with the great spirit, the infinite creative wisdom spirit of the universe that's we always have access to. But if we're not feeling it, then we need to look at, so what's the role I'm playing in congesting my pipes, creating constipation in my pipes so that life force energy can't get through. And that's the opportunity, the vehicle of opportunity to wake up, wise up, remember who we are, what we are, sacred, worthy, luminous beings that are loved, which is forgiving and for receiving. And there it is. Wake up, wise up, and live love now. Hope. That's what comes through. Right.
Thank you. That was fantastic.
Thanks, great spirit. I'm just a flunky for great spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt really, really good. Thank
Right.
you. And one of the things you said something about, like, the judgment being tied in with the feeling of, not having the energy to show up, and it reminded me of a quote that, and I think he was Duwamish, and oh gosh, what was the other one? Suquamish. Well, he's commonly known as Chief Seattle. I know that was the anglicized version of it, but there was a quote that he said about that humankind, that like we have not woven the web of, wait, I'm going to look it up. Hold on real quick. Humankind has not woven the web of life. We are but one thread within it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. All things are bound together, all things connected. And I know there's like some debate as to, if that was actually his words or somebody transcribing his words. But of course, that concept of all of it being connected is true.
Yeah. No matter who said it,
and
it's true.
who said it, it's true. And indigenous peoples have held on to that wisdom more than us Eurocentric peoples. But in terms of this conversation, it makes me think of how important it is to that's my dog Mochi, to let go of that judgment, because whatever your judgment is in the moment, how much that just ties in with kind of getting you stuck,
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah. And I remember my old friend Bill Beckwith, blessings on you, Bill, in the spirit world now. He said once about that one of his favorite books was this one, Free Yourself from the Judge Within. And so that phrase came up for me too, of like, that's a good one to help us move into this coming week, showing up without judgment and to just keep going. So, time to go into our visualization. Are you ready for that?
Let me check. Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, just helping us open up for the week ahead, to keep showing up, to have the courage and strength and letting go of judgment that might stop us.
Yeah.
Tan you.
All right. So once again, my eyelids. I want to give thanks to my eyelids and just bring attention to my eyelids and your eyelids, and what an incredible job they do through the manifestation of billions of years of evolution in our human bodies, and just that simple act of, when we choose it, when it feels right for us, just letting our eyelids drop down, and make a cover over the energy, sensory energy coming in through the open eyes. All of a sudden, there's less of that. There's still some of it coming in, but there's a whole lot less of it. And with our awareness, with our eyelids closed, there's no thing and there's no object. There's no thing. There's no objects. It's just like a seamless oneness of energy, however you might experience that. And what a gift it is to take note of that we have awareness, that we can be aware of what we experience, what we see on the inner plane with our eyelids closed. So just taking a moment to be with that awareness of what you experience with your eyelids closed. And I don't know how it is for you and your awareness, because each of us is a little different lens, aperture, opening of awareness to the mystery, always pouring energy into us from the infinite field. But for me, I soon become aware of the fact that I'm being breathed. By letting go of doing and just entering into a being state, I'm able to open myself to attunement and connection with the infinite field of presence, of energy. The infinite field in which we're always connected and flows into us its gifts with the breath of new life oxygen pouring in, and helps us with our lives to show up by, with each breath out, releasing, letting go of energy that's no longer needed for our life to go on. What a gift of the And Western science has demonstrated that when we slow down and extend the out breath, both the in breath in, yes, and then we pause for a little bit and we hold, and then we let go slowly like that. It activates the vagal nerve in our bodies, which is connected with all of our physical, physiological, energetic functions in the body, promoting our health and wellness and healing. All the miracles that are taking place in us daily, second by second, sustaining our lives. And where healing's needed, activating the wisdom inside of us that knows how to heal. The growth energy, wisdom that knows how to grow in a healthy way at all levels of our interdimensional being. And so, as we open to the idea of going forward into this day, this week, and showing up as best we can to honor the truth that we are stardust, brought to earth, brought to birth, with the purpose of polishing up the stardust that we are, waking up, remembering the truth of who and what we are and why we're here, to be a channel for this healing light and love that is the essence of our being and grows brighter and stronger with each new fuel breath in and each cleansing breath out. And peace abides from this state of conscious awareness, attunement, communion, the underlying infinite oneness of sacred unity, of cosmic love. Letting it do us, flow through us, bringing through its healing way wherever it needs to go, moving through us, massaging, healing, loving, tendering, compassion, and kindness, and gratitude, and celebration of life flowing through us. Peace abides, peace abides, peace abides, and wisdom guides. Wisdom guides when we open to it with humility, receptivity, and attention. Peace, deep inner peace at the center of our being, abides, dropping into it. Wisdom guides, and love provides. A field of infinite light and love provides. And maybe we be strong in our vigilance of our awareness, to notice in our humanness a judgment, a negative judgment comes up about ourselves or someone else. That's going to happen. Stimuli is going to happen to activate unconscious programming. I'm certainly not an enlightened being, long way from it. So every day I get plenty of opportunities for some stimuli to trigger my ego reptilian brain, reactive brain response to happen. The more I can catch it in my awareness, the sooner I can catch it in my awareness, I can pull the power back out of it. Not repress it or deny it, just say, yeah, I see you, no judgment. And I choose consciously to pull the power out and not feed you, and instead to put the power into releasing the judgment. Because I know that judgment causes me pain and suffering. Why? Because it restricts, it's based on and restricts me to a identity, a constricted identity, not based on the truth about who I am as my body, my ego and its stories, which separates me from you and everything else. And in that separation, the root of fear and anxiety, which leads to ultimately violence against the perceived other that we feel threatened by. So the importance of being vigilant to be able to catch a judgment energy as soon as it's triggered, or as quickly as we can when it's triggered. And that's an opportunity to look at, okay, what's the story I'm telling myself here now through this judgment? What are the beliefs that I'm telling myself are true, acting on as if they're true? What's the story, the relationship I'm creating here that's causing suffering for me, and extending that suffering energy out into the field, because we're all connected. We're always broadcasting, transmitting energy. The only question is what kind, to what effect in the field. And if we want healing in the field, this morning I just heard some news more about, the horrors in Gaza and other places around the world, Ukraine, all over, and immediately see my body tense up with judgment against not Netanyahu, Putin, whatever. And there I am in a constricted, tight, angry, fearful state. And I'm suffering, and then the energy coming out of me is going out into the world. So I had to catch that, notice it. I'm creating pain and suffering for myself and sending it into the world. That's not what I want for myself. It's not what I want to send into the world. So I need to let go of those judgments. I need to let go of those judgments and release into a deeper knowing that Spirit's present here and now. And if I want peace in the world, I have to start with me. I have to heal those judgments, let go of those judgments, and surrender to Spirit's presence, which is love, and open up to it and let the love energy release the constrictions that brought by the judgments that cause my suffering. And then send that energy out through time and space into Netanyahu's heart, into Putin's heart, into whomever's heart that from which violence comes from. But I have to start within myself to do that. So this road to showing up in our lives, and all of us, let's acknowledge the truth that all of us are not here by accident. All of us have purpose in being here, and all of us have gifts to share in the world that can be helpful to the healing of the sacred hoop. That means showing up. That's what happens when we show up, to listen to that guidance inside of us about how to open our hearts, be a channel for Spirit's light and love out into the field and to others without attachment to results, because that causes fear and constriction, but just to be a channel for it. The outcomes are in bigger hands than ours, but it is in our hands whether I show up, whether we show up to do the best we can to work our stuff, transform our basura, our garbage, our inner garbage, our shadow stuff, whatever, to through skillful relationship, into compost to help what's happening in Mother Earth around where I live here, and Santa Barbara. I don't know if it's happening where you are yet, but the flowers are blossoming, the buds are popping open, the stalks are growing out of the cactus. I mean, it's just magic time, new life, rebirth. And that's available to us always. And here today, the day we're given to birth, our intentions for how we want to live this life. So blessing with gratitude to Great Spirit for this design of the universe, where we have powers coming to us from above and below and from each direction, and from the center, which is in us, and our connection to you to help us when we open to you with humility, receptivity, and attention, and the gifts you're always giving us to polish up our stardust and show up and honor the opportunity we're given in this life to be channels for healing light and love through us and out into the world for the healing of the sacred hoop, to help birth through the birth canal of the mystery, the kind of world we're capable of creating, a peaceful and just and healthy and happy and harmonious and beautifully diverse win-win world for all. We're capable of creating that in this middle world. And it's on us whether we show up to do our part to contribute to it. We may not see its manifestation in our lifetime, but we can feel good about showing up to give our best shot to do that. And may it be so. Fullest blossoming, greatest good. And thank you to everybody listening. And thank you for all the people you touch in your life, in your work, and in your being, who can be helped by whatever comes up in your awareness that's meaningful to you from our shared time together, to polish up your stardust and live the light and love that you are, those ripples of light moving out into the field for the healing that's possible. Umbrios, thank you. All blessings on your life. And Kimberly, thanks for bringing us together here. And thank you for your patience with doing the techno work when, there was pressure on. Oh my God, it's after 10 and people are waiting and we're not. So you handle that very gracefully. Thank you. Oh.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. And I just want to reiterate, I think I've said this before, but in my work with, biomimicry and regenerative principles, just had recognizing more and more this thought of each of us belonging and each of us mattering, and like you matter and you matter and you matter and you matter. Each of you listening matters. That's not just a spiritual concept, but it really is. If you believe that we are all part of a connected ecosystem, which I do, a connected web, then literally that the drive is that life, creates conditions conducive to life, and so you literally matter. So thank you for showing up, Poppy. Thank you for showing up. I know it's a big bundle for you to carry in the work you do, and thank you for all that you do, and putting up with your daughter here, some daughters sometimes, and
Mercy.
I know. all of us. Thanks for being here today, and thank you all. We'll be here again next Sunday for Shamanic Sundays. Tell a friend. We'll keep showing up as long as we can.
Oh.
Thank you too. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.